Welcome back to Flavors and Knowledge, the podcast where we dive deep into the art of cooking, the science behind ingredients, and the rich stories that make food so much more than just a meal. I'm your host, Noah Mitchell, speaking from Chef Walter's Cooking School in Rhode Island, USA, bringing you narrated, factual culinary education with honest food talk and a few opinions along the way. So let's explore the diverse world of flavors together. This segment is titled, The Hidden Dangers Lurking on Your Kitchen Cutting Board. It's a busy weeknight and you're making a quick stir-fry. You cut raw chicken on your cutting board, rinse it quickly, then chop fresh vegetables on the same surface. While this might seem efficient, it can let bacteria sneak into your meal, turning a healthy dinner into a problem. Cutting boards, whether wood or plastic, are a leading cause of foodborne illnesses at home, spreading germs through cross-contamination and buildup. The good news is that by learning about these risks and following a few simple habits, you can keep your meals safe and your family healthy. Let's look at why cutting boards pose such a threat. At their core, these tools are battlegrounds for bacteria. When you cut raw meat, poultry, or seafood, juices containing pathogens such as Salmonella or coli seep onto the surface of the board. These bacteria can transfer to other foods if the board isn't properly handled, leading to cross-contamination, in which harmful microbes jump from contaminated items to ready-to-eat foods like salads or bread. Picture slicing a tomato right after handling chicken. The bacteria hitch a ride, and your fresh produce becomes a vector for illness. The type of cutting board you use matters. Plastic boards are easy to clean, but over time, knife cuts create grooves where bacteria can hide from soap. Wooden boards, especially softer woods like cypress, can split and form cracks that trap germs. Hardwoods like maple are better because their tight grain can pull in fluids and help kill bacteria as the board dries. A 2018 study found that bacteria stick more to wood and plastic boards than to glass, so the material affects how long germs survive. Bamboo boards are strong but still need regular care to avoid moisture and mold. Besides bacteria, cutting boards can also collect other harmful germs, such as listeria, which can remain on surfaces, and campylobacter from raw poultry, which spreads easily. In poorly cleaned areas, boards can harbor many types of germs and quietly spread illness. Cross-contamination isn't the only problem. Handling food the wrong way can make things worse. Washing raw meat in the sink might seem clean, but it actually spreads bacteria to your board, sink, and counters. Using the same board for different foods without cleaning it well lets fats, proteins, and juices build up, which helps bacteria grow. If your board is cracked, chipped, or has deep grooves, it's a warning sign. These spots can trap bacteria that survive even after washing, leading to foodborne illness. Research shows that without proper cleaning, cutting boards can stay contaminated for hours or even days. Here's the good news. You can avoid these problems with a few simple habits. Start by using separate cutting boards, one just for raw meats, poultry, and seafood, and another for fruits, vegetables, bread, and cooked foods. Keeping them separate greatly reduces the risk of cross-contamination. You can also color-code your boards, like using red for meat and green for produce, to make it easy to remember, especially if you share your kitchen. Cleaning your cutting board is the next important step. After each use, scrape off any leftover food with a spatula, then wash the board in hot, soapy water with a brush or sponge to reach any grooves. Rinse well to remove all soap. Sanitizing is also key to eliminating any remaining bacteria. For both wood and plastic boards, mix 1 tablespoon of unscented liquid chlorine bleach with a gallon of water. Pour it over the board. Let it sit for a few minutes. Then rinse and let it air dry. According to the FDA, washing your cutting boards and utensils with hot, soapy water after each use helps disinfect them and reduces the risk of cross-contamination. You can also use lemon and salt to help remove stains and odors. Always let boards air dry standing up to prevent warping and moisture that can help bacteria grow. Maintenance extends your board's life and safety. Condition wooden or bamboo boards monthly with food-grade mineral oil or grapeseed oil to seal the surface and repel moisture. Inspect regularly for damage. If you spot deep cuts, cracks, or a furry texture on bamboo, it's time to replace it. No amount of cleaning can fully sanitize a compromised board. According to the USDA, non-porous acrylic, plastic, glass, and solid wood cutting boards can be safely washed in the dishwasher, but laminated boards may crack and split. Also, avoid washing raw meat before cooking, as rinsing can spread bacteria, and proper cooking will destroy harmful germs. Your cutting board doesn't have to be something you worry about. If you understand the risks, like bacteria hiding in grooves or spreading between foods, and you stick to good cleaning, sanitizing, and separating habits, your board will help you make safe, healthy meals. Next time you cook, take a moment to clean and sanitize your board. Your health and your family will benefit. Wood and plastic cutting boards are the two most common options in home kitchens, each with distinct advantages and drawbacks in terms of safety, hygiene, durability, knife care, maintenance, and overall usability. Recent research, including studies from 2025, has shifted the long-held view that plastic is inherently safer, showing that well-maintained hardwood boards often perform comparably, or even better, at controlling bacteria. Here's a balanced comparison to help you decide which might better suit your needs. Let's look into the hygiene and bacterial safety. This is the biggest point of debate, and modern science leans toward neither being definitively better if properly cared for, but with nuances favoring wood in many scenarios. Wood, especially hardwoods like maple, walnut, or cherry, porous surfaces absorb liquids and bacteria quickly, pulling them deep into the grain. Natural compounds, like tannins, in hardwoods often exhibit antibacterial properties, killing or inactivating many pathogens. Classic studies and recent ones, like a 2025 Journal of Food Protection paper on sugar maple versus HDPE plastic, show that bacteria like E. coli can drop significantly, often to undetectable levels, within hours on wood, even without cleaning, as the board dries. In real-world home kitchen samplings, plastic boards sometimes showed higher counts of aerobic bacteria and Enterobacteriaceae. Bacteria die off rapidly on wood, with some reports of over 99% reduction in minutes. Plastic, usually high-density polyethylene or similar non-porous materials, easier to sanitize on the surface because it's non-porous. No absorption means bacteria stay accessible for cleaning. However, knife cuts create deep grooves over time where bacteria can hide, form biofilms, and survive washing. Studies indicate that bacteria can persist or even multiply in these grooves if the board stays damp, and that bacterial recovery after rinsing is often higher from plastic than from wood. The key takeaways are that both can be safe with good habits, separate boards for raw meat versus produce, thorough washing, sanitizing, air drying, and replacement when heavily grooved. USDA guidelines allow either material, provided separation is maintained to prevent cross-contamination. Wood may have a slight edge in natural bacterial reduction, but plastic wins for ease of sanitizing in the dishwasher. And as far as knife friendliness, wood, much gentler on knife edges. The softer surface lets blades glide without rapid dulling, making it the preferred choice for most chefs and home cooks who value sharper knives for longer. Plastic, a harder material that dulls knives faster over time. Grooves also make cutting feel less smooth eventually. So the winner, wood hands down. For durability and longevity. Wood, extremely long-lasting, decades with care. It can be sanded down to refresh the surface when grooves appear, effectively renewing it. Plastic, more prone to deep scarring, warping in lower quality ones, and eventual replacement. Thin or cheap plastic boards crack or warp more easily. Here again, the winner is the wood cutting board for longevity. For maintenance and cleaning, wood requires more effort, Hand wash only dishwasher can cause cracking, warping. Regular oiling with food-grade mineral oil to prevent drying, cracking, and full air drying upright. Avoid soaking. Natural lemon and salt-based scrubs help with odor stains. Plastic, low-maintenance, dishwasher safe, top rack for most, quick to clean and no oiling needed. Sanitize easily with a bleach solution or in a hot dishwasher cycle. In this case, plastic is the winner for convenience. Other factors I like to mention: eco-friendliness and microplastics. Wood is more sustainable, renewable hardwood sources, and avoids shedding tiny plastic particles into food, a growing concern with heavily used plastic boards. Plastic contributes to microplastic pollution. Weight and feel. Wood boards are heavier and more stable, but can feel premium. Plastic is lighter and often comes in colors for easy task coating. Cost. Good wood boards cost more upfront but last longer. Plastic is cheaper initially. Our recommendations: if hygiene is your top priority and you're diligent about maintenance, a high-quality hardwood board like maple often emerges as the safer, more knife-friendly, and longer-lasting choice, according to recent microbiological studies. Use separate ones for raw proteins and ready-to-eat foods, sanitize properly, and oil regularly. If you want low-effort cleaning and dishwasher compatibility, especially in a busy household, go with plastic. Just replace it when grooves deepen and stick to color coding. Many experts now recommend having both: a wood board for most chopping, gentler, naturally antimicrobial, and a plastic one dedicated to raw meat that can go straight into the dishwasher. Proper habits matter far more than the material itself. Clean thoroughly after every use, avoid cross-contamination, and replace damaged boards. Your kitchen will stay safe either way. In conclusion, thanks for joining me on today's journey through flavors and knowledge. If you would like recipes associated with our podcasts, be sure to visit and subscribe free to our newsletter. All the links will be on the show notes. Remember to taste thoughtfully, cook with passion, and keep exploring the endless world of food. Subscribe for more, share with a fellow food lover, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep your eyes on the fire and stay curious. The content for this episode is written by Chef Walter and produced by Simval Media, USA.